5 FM. Now let's have some fun. Here is your host, Johnny Radio. Johnny Radio.
Yo. Welcome into a little Sports 56 happy hour. I'm your buddy, Johnny Radio, hanging out with Brian Dacus all day long, and we are stacked. I'm excited today at 11:30. We have the one, the only David Cobb. You know him from CBSSports.com. You can read his work there. You can follow him on Twitter, David W. Cobb, and you can listen to him right here in about 26 minutes because we're breaking down the Final Four. We'll talk about the Sweet 16 matches, the Elite 8 matches, the Final Four, break those games down. He's also an alum of the University of Tennessee. Going to ask him what he thinks Rick Barnes is going to do. How does he feel about his team? Hell of a run. I'm definitely going to get into him and ask him if he feels Zach Edey shot way too many damn free throws. Just him alone shot twice as many as Tennessee. And by the way, Zach Edey pitched a tent in the middle of the lane. Does David Cobb agree or disagree? We'll find out. I want to know what you think. Let me know. Hit me up at the Sissy's Log Cabin listener and text line 901-360-8255. Life's too short for ordinary jewelry. And let me know what you thought about that women's basketball action last night. So Dacus yesterday, very surprised. Got off work. You know, we were talking about the Iron Claw. I was thinking to myself, I got to watch a movie with Chas. Got to do something. So, this is probably the night I'm going to do it. Did the whole gym thing. Come home. Get there. Get back to the crib, like 6:30-ish, 7 o'clock. And guess what? Caitlin Clark and LSU were on.
That's right.
And my goodness, Caitlin Clark put on a show. Then it was followed by UConn and USC, the number one seed in their region against the 3 seed. I can't believe it. But Paige Becker's back, and she's awesome. And UConn's good, and they took care of USC. LSU got knocked out by Iowa. But watching that game, Chas actually was the one who wanted to watch. She's like, the girls were. She's like, I thought we didn't have any basketball tonight. I'm like, no, this is the girls. Next thing you know, she started watching them. And, being a normal woman, like an ordinary girl, you should have seen her face watching that Caitlin Clark girl. She's like, that's no way. It's like, she kept saying, is that really a girl? I was like, dude, I swear she is. And she was cold-blooded, and she had Haley Von Lith basically looking back at the dugout saying, what the bleep am I supposed to do? Same with Angel Reese. I'm serious as a heart attack. My goodness, these young women tore it up last night, and that Caitlin Clark girl is just ridiculous. She had 41 points, 12 assists, 7 boards. Iowa moves on 94-87 to the Final Four, and I actually can't believe I'm going to say this. I'm stoked. I'm ready to see a little bit of the women's Final Four action because I also bet yesterday on both games, and guess what? I'm telling you, I can read women, brother. 2-0.
Wow.
Like, what made me even think I wasn't going to go home and get down on that girls' basketball game? I don't even know. It was awesome. It was fun. But we are going to talk about the men's tournament a whole lot. We got to talk a little bit about some baseball. There were some interesting things happening in the world of baseball. Yes, baseball is happening. And baseball is happening today at 3:10, Twins and the Brewers. We're going to play some bets today. You'll get your final bets at the end of the show today around 12:50. We'll drop all those bad boys off for you. And, we got a very, very, very busy and exciting show. I got some good Hardwood stories because it feels so good. And we're just going to have a whole lot of fun. I got to ask, though, a couple questions right now. Like Bryant Dacus. Wolo reminded me we got this thing, the eclipse happening.
That's right. Next Monday, I think.
Isn't it a week? It's a week from yesterday.
I believe so. Don't quote me on that.
Is it the 8th?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's April 8th.
So that would be next Monday.
The eclipse. Now, my question about the eclipse, they say that there's also going to be like the cicadas are coming out or something?
That's right. This summer is the summer of the cicadas. 2 different types of cicadas are going to come out, and so it could be a very loud summer.
Hadn't happened like since the 80s. Now it's going to be spring, man. This is about to happen.
Right, well, they're coming out. I've heard they're coming out like in the spring, but they're going to stay during the summer. Like, you always hear cicadas in the middle of summer. So they start emerging in the spring, but then you really hear them in the summer.
All right.
That's my cicada fact of the day.
Well, it's happening on April 8th. Is the world ending, as some people on TikTok saying?
Maybe.
I doubt it. We've had a lot of those things. I saw a great conspiracy in the TikTok and the X that the New Madrid fault line is going to have an earthquake. And you weren't alive when they actually let us out of school because some dude predicted that the earthquake was going to happen. And, like, they even let us out of school. They were like, man, everybody stayed home. Like, people believe this guy, and I don't even understand why.
How about that?
But again, this was way back when. This was the late 80s, early 90s. We were a little more gullible back then. But we got a lot of stuff to talk about, and I'm fired up. There was some NBA action as well. We'll probably talk a little bit about that. We have Zach Boyd today at 12 o'clock, so we'll break down what's going down with the Grizzlies. Can you believe it? The Grizzlies actually won.
It was a fun game.
It was against Detroit.
That's right.
And the Pistons are absolutely terrible.
They
But
are.
Cade Cunningham looked amazing.
Good player.
Dude, don't joke. But, Jaren Jackson Jr. did his best to pull a Caitlin Clark. He had 40 points, 7 boards, 3 steals. Looked pretty nasty. And, we have a whole lot of fun things to get into. Yesterday, I did want to ask you, did you see the April Fool's thing that was going around about Jared Goff?
Jared Goff. I don't think so, no.
Man, I'm sitting here in the middle of the afternoon and across one of my news feeds, it comes up, Jared Goff's been traded for the number 2 pick to the Washington Commanders. And it was a long, long article that I read through.
Really? Wow.
And I'm like
whole
looking at
article.
all the stuff that's going through, and at the very end it says, man, remember what today is, April Fool's.
That's too bad.
I wasted a good 3 minutes of my life.
I saw something. I guess it was we were up here yesterday afternoon doing the afternoon show, and during a break, Johnny was like, "Oh my gosh, Justin Jefferson just got traded," and I go, "No, he didn't." And he showed me this tweet that was from I forgot which insider it said it was from, maybe Schefter. And it was it was this whole graphic that looked like, breaking news, official, yada yada yada. But then if you looked real closely at the handle of the Adam Schefter, it was not Adam Schefter's Twitter. And I was like, hey buddy, it's April Fool's Day. They got you. And he was like, oh man, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I got
Got to be on your toes on April 1st, John.
Yeah, it was a little bit painful. A couple of those April Fool's things got me on the internet, wacky damn internet. You know how it is. Now, also, I gave a bet yesterday.
You did.
Braves minus what?
Oh, 1.5. Did yours win, or did they void it?
No, minus 2.5.
Oh, minus 2.5. I'm sorry. Did they void it, or did
Final
you?
in 8 innings? Nope.
Wow.
Did you?
I parlayed the.
Yeah, 1.5. No, I went minus 2.5.
Yeah. Well, 1.5 didn't win either, but I parlayed
Wait,
the money
why
line
didn't it
with
win?
Because
The 8 innings BS.
Right.
What'd you use?
money line,
No, what app?
DraftKings, any money line would have worked. But I just went money line, and then I
Oh,
parlayed that
oh.
with Texas Tech, who played last night. A thriller, went 11 innings, and I just parlayed those together, and it won because they.
Are you
won
talking about
game.
the NIT?
No. College baseball.
Oh, okay. Did Texas Tech take care of business?
They in 11 innings. Yeah, it was scary, but yes, they won.
Well, I don't know if you know this. The Braves are absolutely smoking it. They won 9-0 against the White Sox. I told you that the White Sox were absolutely terrible. And now, to open up the season, in 4 games, that Atlanta offense has scored 34 freaking runs. Do you know that?
Wow, that's crazy.
Bro.
Would have been more if they had finished the game. Maybe.
Maybe. But they've scored 34 runs in 4 games. And that's with Matt Olson not hitting yet. I know it's only 4 games, by the way, and I know we get a little bit excited. But damn, bro, The Braves have scored 34 runs, but guess what? You won't even believe this if I told you it. Pittsburgh scored more than them.
Pittsburgh might win the World Series.
They've scored 39 runs and are 5-0.
Crazy.
Watch out, Pittsburgh. People are coming in. The Dodgers are doing what they're supposed to, but they have played 7 games, more games than everybody else. And again, also Pittsburgh has one more game in Atlanta. But the Dodgers 5-2. They've scored 47 runs. Some hitting machines out there. Also, the Diamondbacks have scored 34. They're hitting the hell out of the baseball. So, interesting things going on around Major League Baseball. I'm also kind of surprised to see that the Astros didn't just win yesterday. Do you remember how the Astros started the season? Getting swept by the Yankees? Mm-hmm. Did you know they finally got off the schneid?
With a no-hitter last night.
Dude, how crazy is that?
It was wild. I watched, I think I tuned in the second inning. It was great.
This is not a no-hitter against, like, the Oakland Athletics. You know what I mean? This is the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah.
And Ronel Blanco, who's, I mean, you know who he is. He's not somebody that I would consider by any means even – like, this dude's probably made, what, a year's worth of starts?
That was his 8th start.
That's it?
Uh-huh. He wasn't supposed to be on the roster. They have injuries. He wasn't even supposed to be. He made the roster on the last day of the season. The Astros had an exhibition, a spring training exhibition against the Sugarland.
They were talking about him a whole lot on MLB Network.
Oh, of course. They had an exhibition against a AAA team and a AAA roster. He pitched it that same day of that outing. He got a call, I guess, like towards the end of the game, that his wife had gone into labor.
Yeah,
and
they
he was
just
having
had a little
second
baby girl.
And then he got the call the next day saying he was going to be on the opening day roster, and goes out there first start of the season, only 105 pitches, no hitter. It was crazy.
That's insane. Like, that is so almost like, I mean, could you imagine, like, is the guy not floating on air right now?
Got to be.
You just had a new beautiful baby girl, healthy baby girl. Mm-hmm. You go out there, you get called up to the big club. You've made that's your 8th start. You played last year. A little bit of you got MLB Network talking about some special things about you, and think that you could do something for the club. And then all of a sudden, one thing, especially because the Astros need a little bit of work with Justin Verlander out for so long for the Houston Astros, they need somebody to step in. Well, dude, he stepped in and just took care of business. I mean, you got George Springer. They got freaking, of course, Vlad Guerrero Jr. over there. That's impressive. And he only had 7 strikeouts, too. 2 walks, 105 pitches. Congratulations, big fella. I don't know how long. It's going to be a while before that dude's feet touch the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Just walking on air. Oh, I know baseball, to some, is not your favorite sport in the world to talk about. But I know you like to get a little bit into certain things and some controversies and kind of, curious with what some people are wondering. It's only been the first weekend. It's only been a few instances. But what do you think about the shortstop or second baseman being in front of the bag when somebody steals second base?
I mean, whatever.
It's not making you nuts like it's making me?
No, not really.
It's not okay. I don't mind the pitch clock. I don't mind the timing, but this isn't baseball. You know how you get somebody out from camping in front of the bag? Like, you just slide right into them.
Mm-hmm.
You put your cleat into them, and guess what? They're not going to do it again. That's called baseball. When I see people who are thrown out by 4 steps, basically, and because they're standing in, like the one that happened with Francisco and Lindor was probably the worst in spring training. But yesterday, I'm sitting there watching. My man steals. He is gunned. Catcher just comes up, pops up, great throw. Wham, bam, thank you, man. Puts down the tag. And because his knee was about 6 inches into this now bigger bag, they called him safe. But no, he's out. And if you're a pitcher, does that not absolutely make you crazy?
Oh, I'm sure it does.
I mean, and as a fan watching the game, that makes me absolutely nuts. I'm sorry, this is driving me bananas. I just wonder what y'all think. Hit me up at the Sissy's Log Cabin text and listener line, 901-360-8255. Life's too short for ordinary jewelry. Now, this Pittsburgh Pirates team, I'm kind of curious. You think they're for real?
Define for real.
Well, they do play in the worst division in baseball,
Exactly.
the NL Central.
Yeah.
And if you can compete in the NL Central, you make the playoffs. That's what I mean by real.
Oh, then sure. Yeah.
I'm not sitting there saying they're going to compete with the upper echelons, the Braves, the Diamondbacks, the Dodgers, but they can make a run with Cincinnati and Chicago.
Oh, absolutely.
And damn it, they can hit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they got a bunch of young dudes. My man, the big old 6'7" shortstop, O'Neal Cruz, he's back hitting. He's healthy this year, but he's not like he's a good bat, and he's a great young talent. But, man, Cabrian Hayes is just ripping the cover off the baseball. Like, ripping the damn cover off the baseball. They've got so much youth over there, but they got so many first, second round draft picks that are coming up here and playing. You got a veteran and Andrew McCutchen who actually cares about the Pirates, who's kind of leading these young bucks. They got some really good things going on over there. I know that, I don't know, I might be crazy. They don't pay much. They don't, they're not out there doing their thing. But, man, after the end of this year, I'm sure a bunch of the big money teams are going to come poach a lot of their talent because they're freaking unbelievable. Yankees are still winning. But, by the way, what do you think? Yankees and Orioles, is this their division? Or are the Blue Jays going to be able to kind of compete up there with them?
I mean, it feels like it's those two. And the Orioles had to win a wild one last night in extra innings. So, yeah, I mean, I like this Orioles team. As much as I don't like the Yankees, I like this Yankees team. So, yeah, I think it's theirs to lose.
Second worst division in baseball, the American League Central. Mm-hmm. The Tigers have played nobody. Mm-hmm. They played the White Sox, and then they played the Mets. Played the Mets again today. And this Mets team, remember, they spent like $1 billion last year. What a bunch of wasted money.
Yeah.
That Mets team is terrible. But are the Tigers, are they going to be any good? It's too early to tell right now, but they've beaten the crummy teams they've played. But like I said, they've beaten the Mets, who are absolutely terrible. And then they smoked the White Sox, who, like, are Oakland and Chicago going to fight for the worst two teams in baseball?
I think so. But I don't trust this Detroit Tigers team because, I mean, they really did not, like, I mean, what we saw Atlanta do, and I understand Atlanta is one of the best teams in all of baseball, but what we saw them do to the White Sox is not at all what the Tigers did. I mean, they only won all three of those games by combined 3 runs. Mm-hmm. Each game was a 1-run game, and so I don't trust this team. I think when they see other teams, now they get the benefit of the doubt. They get 2 more games against the Mets and then go for a 3-game series against the Athletics, so it's pretty easy. But then they see Pittsburgh, the Twins, the Rangers, so it gets harder for them. I don't trust them at all.
What's happened to your Marlins team?
That would be your old producer. I'm not.
Oh, that's right.
Marlins
That's
fan.
right. Oh, yeah,
but
that's
they are
right.
not. They're not playing well. 0-5. It's pretty bad.
Like, I honestly don't know who's going to be worse this year, Miami, the Mets, or Washington, and that's kind of sad.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
And the Phillies are going to figure it out.
I think so.
I mean, it's early. They're 1-3. They've been playing terrible baseball. But I'm telling you, man, the Phillies are going to figure it out. Also, I got to tell you all right now, again, it's April 2nd. Like, every single day, we're just getting a little bit closer to 420. World Wing Fest it's happening. It's actually the World Championship Hot Wing Contest and Festival. You go to worldwingfest.com and you get your tickets. Again, the money goes to the Ronald McDonald House. It benefits the Ronald McDonald House of Charities of Memphis, which benefits the families and children of St. Jude. When these kids come from all over the country, from all over the world to Memphis, Tennessee, so that they can get the treatment for their children from cancer, because it's St. Jude's take care of so many people. Well, they have families and people have to come here and stay. The Ronald McDonald provides these families a place to stay so that they can be with their loved one. so they can be with their child who definitely needs their family's care while they're going through their treatment. And you get to help the Ronald McDonald House. You get to help St. Jude by coming out on April 20th and having a damn good time. We're going to be at River Garden Park. That's downtown, basically right between Jefferson and Union. You'll be downtown. It's going to be beautiful. There's going to be 2 unbelievable tents set up. And I mean not tents. I'm sorry, stages. There's going to be 2 stages. Because on April 20th, starting at 11 a.m., music's going to get being played. You got the RS Financial stage. You got Earl the Pearl at 11 a.m. The Memphis Funk Horns at 12:30. At 2 o'clock, they're going to get on RS Financial stage and have a wing eating contest. You got Ratilia 2:45. Elevation Memphis featuring the Tina Turner reviews at 4:15. About 5:45, they're going to give away the awards and announce the winners of the World Wing Championship for 2024. You know who's going to be doing that, don't you?
Who's that?
Oh, that's going to be me, homie.
Oh, wow. How about that?
Oh,
Little
yeah.
MC.
I love doing it. I did last year. It was so much damn fun. Get a little Tito's in me. Get a little wings. Party all day. Listen to music. Get a little wild with the microphone. There's some great names of these teams, by the way. Some unbelievable names. On the blue stage, you got Alexis Grace at 4:30. She used to work here. Remember the story about me leaving the toilet seat up?
Yeah, you're going to apologize to her?
You know, I don't think she listens to sports talk radio, so I doubt, I don't think I haven't admitted it ever.
But that's what I'm saying. This could be your opportunity. You go up to her, hey,
it was
just wanted
me.
to apologize for a long time ago. I don't know if you remember this.
Oh, she's going to remember it.
But it was me.
She's the nicest person in the world, but she wanted to kill somebody that day.
Well, so then she probably will remember.
By the way, men, if you ever sneak into the women's restroom at your work and you are very kind and lift up the seat to pee, don't forget to put it down, because women go into women's restrooms and don't ever expect the seat to be up. I heard that. I learned that. Hey, by the way, did you know what? Life is about making mistakes and learning from them.
Bingo.
I learned something. I'm passing my knowledge on to y'all. Not only, though, we got the blue stage going on. Clarksdale is going to be on the blue stage. The World Wing Fest is going to be awesome. There's going to be over 60 teams competing for $10,000. There's a VIP tent. You can be a part of it. It's $150. All your food, all your alcohol, all your fun is right there provided for you. You got general admission. All you have to do is go again to worldwingfest.com. Get your tickets today. I'm giving away some tickets. I've been giving away tickets, but I will tell you, I forgot to bring the tickets today. I'm going to give them away. You just can't come get them today. You're going to have to come get them tomorrow. My bad.
Classic.
Yeah. Also, Matt, who won yesterday, don't come today. Come tomorrow, because I forgot your tickets as well. It's kind of my fault. You know what happened?
Yeah, I think so. What happened?
I accidentally, I mistakenly had them in my clipboard.
Okay.
And I took my clipboard in, and then I took them out of my clipboard to do a little bit of work, and I put them in the drawer, and damn it, man, I forgot.
Always that damn drawer, man.
But guess what? You don't have to wait for me. You don't have to wait to win tickets. All you have to do is go to worldwingfest.com. You can purchase your tickets right there, again, from $15 all the way to the $150 VIP. Get your tickets. The proceeds help St. Jude. Now, David Cobb's on the other side. It's time to get knee-deep in some hoops. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Professional football is back as your Memphis Showboats have 5 home games this season, starting with the home opener on Saturday, April 6th at 11 a.m. The Showboats are coming off a strong first year and have added a ton of firepower to the offense, highlighted by quarterback Case Cookus, the 2022 Player of the Year, and the return of fan favorite Vinny Papali. Let's make Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium the best home field advantage of the UFL. For tickets, visit theufl.com. That's theufl.com. Go Boats!
I'm a waitress, so I know the difference between regular shoes and Skechers slip-resistant work shoes. Skechers slip-resistant work shoes make my job go like this. Here's your pasta primavera.
Thanks.
While regular shoes make my job go like this. Here's your pasta whoa! And that difference is why I wear Skechers slip-resistant work shoes to keep me safe on my feet. Plus, they're easy to clean and have Skechers exclusive air-cooled memory foam for comfort throughout my shift. Get America's #1 selling work shoe at Skechers.com, a Skechers store near you, or wherever work shoes are sold.
From the studio that brought you Uncut Gems comes The Iron Claw, the unbelievable, true story of the Von Erich brothers, who built a wrestling dynasty. Adele calls it her favorite movie of the year, starring Zac Efron and Emmy Award winner Jeremy Allen White. Get The Iron Claw on Blu-ray and DVD now from A24 in Lionsgate.
There are any number of reasons you might consider selling your home. To move closer to family, live within a smaller budget, or just wanting a change of scenery. Whatever your reasons, having to figure out all the various housing market trends in your area may not be what you signed up for. That's where an agent who is a Realtor comes in. Realtors have the expertise to help you find the right price and navigate the process to sell your home in a way that's right for you. That's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 for the Golf Shop Radio Show, presented by PlayGolfMyrtleBeach.com, the golf capital of the world. Hosts Mark Greenhelge and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop, here on Sports 56. Real sports talk.
The only power source capable of generating 1.21 gigawatts of electricity is a bolt of lightning.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio, hanging out with Brian Dacus all day long. Happy Tuesday out there. It's a little wet. It's a little wet. But you know what? Final Four is set. NC State Purdue, first game on Saturday, 5 o'clock on the TBS, man. A little Final Four action. Right now, Purdue's an 8.5-point favorite over Alabama, and the total's 145. We got Alabama and UConn. That's going to be around 8 o'clock. Bama catching 11.5 against UConn, who looks unstoppable. But we're about to talk with David Cobb. He's been taking care of business all year long. You know, he covers college football and college basketball for CBSSports.com. You can read his work at CBSSports.com. You can follow him on Twitter at David W. Cobb. And David joins us now. What's up, DC?
Hey, man, not much. Just chilling, refueling. Fun couple of weeks on the NCAA tournament travel circuit, but my road has come to an end. I won't be at the Final Four.
Oh, you're not going to Glendale?
Not going. It's not my year. So anyway, I'll be watching from home. Yeah, had a good time in Detroit, had a good time in Memphis, was at the SEC tournament, but the madness has come to an end for me.
Well, you get to get a little bit of rest, maybe hang out with your wife a little bit, some things like that. Is that in the future?
Yeah, that's
maybe
actually in the present.
Oh,
that's
nice.
actually in the present. Well, not the golf, but the rest of it. Yeah.
I get that. I know you're itching to get out on that golf course, I'm sure.
Oh, man, you know it. Like, they're just the golf clubs are just sitting here just like, hey, we're ready. Like, you know, if you ever want to play with us, we're here, you know. It's kind of like when Andy grows up in Toy Story and he doesn't have time for Buzz Lightyear anymore. I think that's how my golf clubs feel during the NCAA tournament.
Oh, damn, man. That's almost sad.
I know.
Oh man! All right, so now I got to get into what some of the action that we saw. I'm going to start all the way back at a little Sweet 16 action, and I'm just kind of wondering if you're with me on this. How lucky did basically NC State get because Shed got injured and they got to play Duke again for like the third time this month?
Yeah, just incredible the way the NCAA tournament turns on the fortunes of a twisted ankle. I mean, we saw it firsthand in Memphis how special of a player Jamal Shed is. I mean, Memphis fans have seen that for a few years now, and then the country has seen it as of late. And that injury has completely transformed this Final Four. I mean, it genuinely has, because if he's available for the majority of that game against Duke, then Houston beats Duke, and
runs them
Houston
out.
beats NC State. Yeah, and that's tough. That's brutal. On the other hand, though, because of that, we now have this unbelievable story with NC State, and that's the beauty and the horror of the NCAA tournament and the single elimination format is just how pivotal every moment is in every game. And yeah, now we get DJ Burns on the biggest stage in college basketball. Man, who would have thunk it?
Oh man! And by the way, DJ Burns has been like a delight to figure out who this big fella is. He's been fun. I think it's hilarious. Have you seen all the GMs and the scouts and the NFL people talking about how, he needs to come in here and work on about being a left tackle in the National Football League? I mean, 6 foot. I mean, they list him at 6'9", probably realistically like 6'7", 6'8". Light on his feet, man. You could see him pop out real quick. Today's defensive ends coming around the edge as fast as they are, as light as he is on his feet, man. I could see that dude making some money in the National Football League. But can the big boy stop the mountain of a man in Zach Edey in the Final Four? They're catching 8.5 currently.
No, I think the height differential is too significant because, DJ Burns is one of the few out there in college basketball who can literally go pound for pound with Zach Edey.
He's 50 pounds heavier than Zach, actually.
Yeah, and then but the height differential there with Edey is significant, and
he's 8 inches shorter than Edey.
Yeah, the toll that it takes to try to get into position to defend him is monumental. It is a battle for every second of that shot clock to defend Zach Edey, and then you want that guy to go and be your offensive engine on the other end of the floor after he's exerted himself at the highest level to try and defend Zach Edey. I don't know that DJ Burns is going to be able to do that for 30-plus minutes. And they've been playing him almost every waking second as of late because he's just been so good offensively. And but I don't know if you can ask your offensive superstar to then go and defend Zach Edey for 30-plus minutes. That's going to be a tall task for NC State.
And then who do they throw? Because I look at the Wolfpack and Diarra. He's just thin. Zach Edey would absolutely. Muhammad Diarra would get just absolutely worked. He is 6 feet 10 inches, but he's only about 210 pounds. Zach Edey's 100 pounds heavier than Diarra. Plus, he's taller. And I don't know who else you would put on him if you don't put the big fella DJ Burns.
Well, yeah, there's also Ben Middlebrooks for NC State. He's kind of a big man.
Danny Cannell's nephew.
Yeah, exactly. So that's an option. At least NC State has a couple of guys within the height realm of like, hey, we can at least throw you on him for a possession. We can throw you on him while DJ Burns gets a breather. Tennessee threw 3 different defenders at Zach Edey. None of them had very much success. It was actually the freshman, P.J. Estrella, who was probably the most effective against Zach Edey. So if you're NC State, you're Kevin Keatts, you want to have a shot in this game. I think, to me, the key is junking up the defense, and it's
throwing everything at him.
It's giving Purdue different looks. It's going with a double team. It's going with a zone randomly for a possession or two. It's trying to extend the pressure full court where Purdue rarely got out of rhythm against Tennessee was when their guards saw open lanes to the basket, and then they got out of sync with getting the ball to Edey. And it's like, if you can get those Purdue guards to think they're the ones who need to be scoring, then you got a shot. And the way to do that is to pressure them and sort of speed the tempo up. And so I think that's the only way to have a shot against Purdue is to junk up your defense, throw different looks at them, because if you're just going to let them feed the ball to Zach Edey on the left block without much resistance in that regard, then he's going to do to you what he's done to most other teams this season.
The one thing, though, about NC State that I've noticed, they win in so many different ways. The way they beat Marquette compared to the way they, won the game against Duke. Totally. They only hit 3 threes in Duke and still won by 12 points, shooting like 20%. That was kind of crazy. They are, they will get in there and basically, 2-point to death. You go down there with my man, or if you remember when they played Marquette, they hit 9 threes and shot almost 40%. And DJ Horn, the other DJ, I mean, he was making things happen. Hell, he had a huge 3 the other night against Duke, kind of just to separate things.
Yeah, I mean, he's a huge key to NC State's success in this game because, I really don't. I know Purdue has a great team defense, but I really don't think that Purdue has elite individual perimeter defenders.
No.
And so if you get a DJ Horn going on the perimeter, that's going to help you a lot. I mean, obviously Dalton Knecht went for 37 for Tennessee, and it still wasn't enough. So
well, nobody else for Tennessee helped him.
That's right. So if DJ Horn gets going and O'Connell is also there, or Marcel has a decent game, then maybe you have a chance. It's just Purdue is so machine-like and ruthlessly efficient in the way they get Zach Edey his touches that they're going to at minimum average, a point, 1.2 points per possession or something. And how do you counter that? You got to hit a lot of threes. You got to get to the free throw line somehow against a Purdue team that doesn't foul a whole lot or doesn't get called for a whole lot of fouls. So it's I'm not of the 2 games. I think I would give NC State a better chance against Purdue than I would Alabama against
But
UConn.
You don't think that? I mean, you're not you're leaning right now both favorites, aren't you?
I am, and I'm leaning both favorites against the spread.
That's
because
what
I think
I'm talking about.
When you throw everything you got against the wall in a matchup like this, which is what you got to do if you're NC State or if you're Alabama, then you do run the risk of getting blown out. I mean, that is
True.
Within the realm of possibility. It's like in college football where, all right, are you going to try to slow the pace down, run the football more than usual, bleed the clock, go into anti-turnover mode, and just try to make it respectable? Or are you going to try to empty the bag and go out and win a ball game? And sometimes when you do the latter, it gives you your best chance to win, but it also opens up the door for you to get blown out. And so, Alabama and NC State, they're going to do what they do. They're going to empty the bag. They're going to go to what's worked for them this month. But the teams they're playing against have effective counters for that. And these are 2 games that could get out of hand. I mean, we'll see.
I think they could, and then we'd get the matchup. I think everybody wants to see, Klingon and Edey and UConn, the beast that they are, against this Purdue team. That's what I'm believing. I think everybody wants to see for a good national championship. But I got to go back. And actually talk to you about, again, now this Purdue team and the Tennessee game. As a journalist and also a Tennessee fan, bro, did Edey not just pitch a tent in the middle of the lane and sit there for 9 seconds on every damn possession, and they never called it 3 seconds once in that ball game? And how did he shoot 22 free throws and the whole Tennessee Vols only shot 11?
I mean, Zach Edey and Purdue didn't do anything different than what they've done all year. They weren't officiated any differently than they have been all year.
Why is he allowed to camp out in the middle of the lane?
Look, I mean, it's just when do you see 3 seconds called anywhere in college basketball?
Once in the whole tournament.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something that's really called ever in college basketball anymore. So I just don't know if you're a Tennessee fan or whatever, why you expected that to be the game where all of a sudden Zach Edey was called differently than he had been for the entire season. And so to me, it's like you have to come up with a way to stop it, because if you're looking for the officials to help you out, they're not going to. And, I mean, yeah, I thought there were a couple instances where Zach Edey should have been called for fouls, but I didn't feel like the fouls that were called against Tennessee were preposterous. I mean, they were just doing their best with him. And if you go and look at the splits, this has been the case for Purdue all season. They rank among the nation's top teams in the amount of free throws that they shoot. And then their opponents rank among the lowest in terms of free throws attempted. They get to the free throw line, and their opponents don't. That's been the formula for Purdue all season long, and it was the formula for them again on Sunday. So I understand the frustration from Tennessee fans. Going up against Zach Edey is maddening. And I like I said, I thought there were a couple of instances where he could have been called for fouls that he wasn't, especially there in the first half. I mean, he just discarded, I forget who it was, but one of these Tennessee guys with an elbow to the neck while going for a rebound. And that should have been a foul on Zach Edey. But by and large, nothing about that was new. I mean, it's the way he's been called all year long. It's kind of if they called it any other way against him, I mean, he wouldn't be the two-time National Player of the Year now. So that's the problem with going up against Zach Edey. He's hard to officiate. He's hard to defend. And you shouldn't be surprised by either of those things when you end up, against him in a matchup.
Well, one thing that I was surprised of this weekend, and I mean, I was thoroughly surprised. Illinois, number one offense in the country. I mean, I played UConn, but like with a little, like a touch, and I was scared to death to take UConn because I'm like, man, I kept looking at their schedule, who they'd beat in the tournament, and I'm like, man, Illinois is a different animal. They just went up against Iowa State, and then UConn went on a 30-0 run and made Illinois look like the Sisters of the Poor.
Yeah, that was unbelievable. That was incredible. I think UConn is as dominant of a team right now as I've seen in college basketball in my lifetime. The way they can do that it's unreal, and they're just the epitome of a team too, because there's actually not a first-team All-American on that roster. I mean, Tristan Newton and Donovan Clingan are both fringe All-Americans, but it's
Clingan's a damn handful, man.
Well, and he's the one guy in college basketball who might be able to really bother Zach Edey. So that's, of course, the intrigue in this Final Four is, do we get that matchup? And if so, how does it go? I mean, he was nasty against Illinois defensively. So just totally dominant, and now you see why against Illinois Donovan Clingan is being discussed as a lottery pick, even though he doesn't have that perimeter shot as a 7'2" guy, even though he's probably pretty limited in where he can score and maybe a little bit vulnerable in the pick and roll. I mean, when you can recover the way he can and you can protect the rim the way he can, there's a spot for you in the league. Mm-hmm. So, and that's the difference between him and Edey is for his size, Zach Edey really doesn't block a whole lot of shots, and he's not quite as mobile out near the perimeter as Donovan Clingan is, which is going to hurt him in the NBA when he gets put in the pick and roll. So, Donovan Clingan versus Zach Edey might be the all-time great national title matchup of 7-footers.
Yeah, Clingan, I mean, he had 5 blocks the other night, and the one he had on Terrence Shannon was so nasty. I was just like, it was like go-go gadget arms. He did everything. Shannon even went far out with his left, and Clingan still just swatted that junt. I think he's nasty. And then the guard play of UConn versus the guard play, like you talk about Newton and Braden Smith, I kind of got to give the edge to UConn. The way that UConn is playing, do you think do you think Purdue can even stop them?
I mean, Purdue will have a chance in that game for sure, but I think
UConn's what? Let's just take a guess. Would you put them around a 6-point favorite?
Yeah, I was going to say 5.5. UConn's just more talented. Like Purdue's really good, but you look at Stephon Castle, for example, potential lottery pick. Yep. Donovan Clingan, potential lottery pick. Cam Spencer is a sort of outside shooter threat that
can get to the rack too.
He can, and Purdue has good shooters, but they don't have that sort of electric, combustible sort of perimeter threat. Tristan Newton's very dynamic as a guard, and then Alex Caravan might be eventually a draft pick himself. I mean, he's 6'8", he shoots the 3 ball, he defends relatively well. So UConn has more talent than Purdue.
I have to say I totally agree, but yeah, it was just crazy how bad they just dismantled the Huskies. But man, got to go to that Clemson-Alabama game. Bro, Alabama, and you got to give Nate Oates. I couldn't even believe this when I saw this. So Nate Oates was coaching high school 11 years ago, and teaching math and selling flaming hot Cheetos and Capri Suns to raise money for his basketball team.
Yeah, actually, funny you bring that up. I stopped by Romulus High School on my way to the Detroit airport yesterday.
Did you really?
Yeah, I mean, it's literally next to the airport. So, yeah, I talked to one of the guys who was on the search committee for the Nate Oates hire. So, anyway, that's one of the stories I'm kind of working on.
Ooh,
but
do we know when this bad boy's going to be dropping, or is this going to be a little bit?
We'll see. It's one of those where it's like you don't want to make any promises because then they'll push it or something. But no, it's crazy, man. And the crazy thing is that it was actually Bobby Hurley, who's now the coach at Arizona State, who discovered Nate Oates because he was recruiting a player that was on Nate Oates' high school team. He goes to Detroit to, look at this kid, and he's like, wow, this coach is really smart. And now in Phoenix, right around the corner from where Bobby Hurley coaches right now, it'll be the coach that he discovered, Nate Oates, against his
Glendale,
brother.
Arizona against his brother. That is wild. I did not know any of this.
Yeah, so talk about stories and stuff. That's a good one. And Danny Hurley, the UConn Hurley, he was a high school coach too. And
for a while.
So you get all of those elements of it. And I mean, Kevin Keats as well was a high school coach in the not too distant past, and kind of cut his teeth and made his name in the prep school ranks. So not exactly your Bolton High School or whatever, but still sort of that prep school level. And it just goes to show you can find good coaches at a lot of different levels, and that'll definitely be one of the storylines of this Final Four.
We don't get a lot of people don't talk about Kevin Keats, but I really like him. He's always smiling. He's positive. I don't know. I like him. The one thing though that I was reminded when they called that damn tech on Keats in that game, like against Duke, I was about to lose my mind. Do you remember that when he just kind of came a few feet out of the box?
Well, so I was in the media room in Detroit. I had the TV on with the game. I was trying to finish up this Zach Edey versus Dalton Connect story while keeping an eye on the game. I didn't see it, but yeah. Yeah,
I just remember if that changes the momentum in this game. I mean, Keats. It wasn't even I don't know. I was just I was like, man, the officials have lost their damn mind calling the damn technical foul on that, and giving them 2 free throws, trying to get Duke back in that joint. I felt like that was some Duke cooking.
Well, yeah, NC State to beat Duke, man. Wow. To win the season series against a team that's always overshadowed them in that state. The fact that it was
to beat them
North Carolina.
Did they beat them didn't they beat them also in the ACC tournament?
Yeah, they did, because Duke won at NC State on NC State's senior day. And at that point, you're just like, okay, is Kevin Keats going to get fired? This was not a good year. And now here they are having won 9 straight elimination games. It's just preposterous. It's incredible. And now he's probably set for the next several years there, because it's really not going to matter what happens. He's going to be okay because of this run. He's bought himself some time, bought himself new life, and incredible. It's just one of the wildest things, that you could have ever come up with going into this NCAA tournament.
Man, that is absolutely there's just some wild stuff going on now. So basically, just to make sure I got this right before I let you go, we're looking at both favorites in the first, the Final Four: NC State, Purdue, laying the 8.5, taking Purdue, and we're laying the 11.5 and taking UConn.
Yeah, that's kind of my approach on it. Yep.
All right, I'm with you. Oh, one other thing about Alabama. Dude, Grant Nelson and his mustache, bro. Where did this come from? I saw him play earlier this year, and I thought he was terrible.
Yeah, it came from Devil's Lake, North Dakota. It was funny. Grant Nelson generated a ton of buzz on the portal market last year because he was a late entry. And so because he was sort of out there on an island when not a whole lot of other guys were entering the portal, it sort of gave him some leverage and some publicity that he maybe didn't deserve as a sub 30% 3-point shooter in the Summit League, but it's like, oh, he's 6'10" and he's hit a few threes in his career. So let's, make him the hot thing in this portal cycle. And he's been super up and down, and that's honestly still been the case as of late, because he was awesome against North Carolina, but then struggled a little bit against Clemson, and that's sort of been the story of his whole season.
Man, and one other thing I want to ask you, what did you think about the SMU hire of Andy Enfield?
Okay, it doesn't overwhelm me. I thought Will Wade would have been a better hire for SMU in terms of having success. Andy Enfield's okay, but he's just okay. He's not somebody I would consider among the top 30 coaches in college basketball.
All right, what are you working on? I know you're working on one story with it has to do with Nate Oates and his coaching roots. What else you got coming down the pipe?
That's pretty much the big one. It'll be a little bit of contributions on the Final Four, but the transfer rankings are probably the thing that'll be of the most interest to Memphis folks right now. You know, Penny's working the portal. I've already got a top 50 transfers up. That's going to continue to evolve, probably continue to grow.
Oh, you also just dropped an article about Zach Edey's tribute to Gene Katie.
I did. So, yeah, it's a busy time.
Man, get back to work, brother. I appreciate your time. Enjoy spending some time and get out on that golf course, my friend.
All right, dude. Appreciate it.
That is David Cobb, CBSSports.com. Got to remind you, David's cool. I'm cool. We're all cool.
I'm cool.
You're cool?
John, I'm cool.
Well, see, I need you to go to
You weren't
Frontier
going to put me in there.
I wasn't, because you're wearing a deadgum hockey jersey.
That's fire, though. But you're right, John. I'm not going to lie. I'm glad you bring this up.
But you're wearing a hockey jersy with a Chick's hat
on.
It doesn't matter.
Fire, isn't it? I'm glad you bring this up, though, because I do need to go by Frontier Western. I'm going to a country concert this weekend.
Who is it?
And Charlie Crockett. He's in town Friday night. I'm going to it, and I need to get my wardrobe right.
Man, get it right. You can get your wardrobe right. All you have to do is 5880 Goodman Road down in Olive Branch. I'm telling you, they have everything. Dress you head to toe. They have all the largest boot showroom in the world. They have all the jeans. They have all the spring and fall fashions in their ladies' boutique. They got a children's department. You can also just shop online at FrontierWesternStore.com. Check them out. They're family-owned and operated since 1967. Back in two shakes. We got Hardwood because it feels so good. We're still going to talk a little bit of a college basketball, some MLB, and we have bets. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You've been having a good time at Mugshots Grill and Bar in Olive Branch. Soon you'll be having a good time at a brand new Mugshots. Mugshots Grill and Bar is opening their first Tennessee location at 656 West Poplar in Collierville, where you can try one of Mugshots' 19 specialty burgers, including the Mugshot Burger. Finish it in 12 minutes and it's free, plus you get a free t-shirt. So cheers to great food, good drinks, and fun company at Mugshots Grill and Bar, where you're always having a good time.
You know, the biggest reason people don't invest is because it's too complicated. Crazy. You'd rather have the cash sitting in the bank, earning less money, than use it. So you're not saving or investing. You're losing money month after month. It's depressing. If you're looking for an investment you don't have to check 10 times a day, Noble Gold Investments is your answer. Precious metals are simple, and Noble Gold Investments understands them. You'll get a dedicated American expert who will run you through your options and be your personal contact whenever you get in touch. No call centers, no hassle. Just simple, straightforward, and real. This month, Noble Gold Investments is giving a free quarter-ounce gold standard coin with every qualifying IRA investment. Just use the promo code GOLD. Go to NobleGoldInvestments.com now. NobleGoldInvestments.com. And if that's not a reason to put your money somewhere else, we don't know what is. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
The founders of Bell Tavern, Memphis's perfect neighborhood bar, like to say that Bell Tavern was created to be an adult bar. Obviously, you have to be an adult to drink at any bar, but at Bell Tavern, you're expected to act like one. You can always go to a bar at a chain restaurant to find people that feel compelled to shout when they've had a couple of cocktails and people that want to get wound up about something. Or you could tuck into Bell Tavern in historic Barbaro Alley in downtown Memphis and enjoy great drinks, great food, and great conversation. You know, like grown-ups.
Every day when we're on the road, people around us endanger themselves and others by looking at their phones while driving. There's the sneak-a-peeker who darts their eyes between the road and their texts, or the nightlighter who illuminates their car after dark. If that's you, reconsider before you find yourself becoming the fender bender-er, the got a ticket-er, or worst of all, the driver who killed someone. Put the phone away or pay. Paid for by NHTSA.
The good folks at Wendy's have a revolutionary new product for you. Introducing the new Orange Dreamsicle Frosty. It's like a time machine that takes you all the way back to now, the year 2024. It's the classic, creamy, orangey flavor you remember. Dare I say, it's new-timey. It's the flavor you grew up with, just all grown up. Head over to your local Wendy's establishment and get yours while supplies last. The new Orange Dreamsicle Frosty. Here for the now, for now.
Limited time only at participating Wendy's.
This is hard to believe, but the Hyundai Santa Fe is actually better. I know, that's crazy, isn't it? The 2024 Santa Fe is new, top to bottom, and even better than before. It's almost as big as the Palisade, so roomy, and now it's got a standard third row. Everybody's clamoring for that. And it's the best SUV when it comes to the ride than ever before. You know how with SUVs you love it because you're sitting high, but you don't get that luxury kind of ride like a sedan? You do with the 2024 Santa Fe. It's the best riding SUV ever, and it's quiet. It's the ultimate family car. All you've got to do to be sold is to test drive it. The people at Homer Skelton Hyundai are saying, come try it. You'll love it. Homer Skelton Hyundai, right at the corner of Highway 78 and Craft Road. First exit in Mississippi. Go see the ultimate SUV, the 2024 Santa Fe.
All the wisdom of the universe is in these bones.
Now back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hanging out with Brian Dacus. We just talked with David Cobb at CBSSports.com. Talked all things college hoops. Talked about Bama and Nate Oates and his unbelievable run. Matt Painter, Zach Edey and Purdue. NC State, DJ Horn, DJ Burns, Keats. We broke it all down. But now we got to switch gears. 12 o'clock coming up here soon. Just in a little bit. It's 12 o'clock in about 5 minutes. We're going to start talking. So. We're going to talk about, a little NBA action with my man Zach Boyd. See what's going on in the world of the National Basketball Association. I will say I find it fascinating right now. Joel Embiid's coming back.
And could play tonight. I haven't seen any updates.
Could play tonight.
Yeah. They need him. They're in the eighth spot right now. If he comes
back, listen, I'm a Miami Heat fan, kind of. Not like a fan band, but I like them. I like the Heat. I like Jimmy Buckets. I like Spo. I like the Don, you know what I mean? I just like the way that they operate. And I love Miami, you know what I mean? Who doesn't? By the way, Miami, man, we got P. Diddy in Miami along with Cuba Gooding Jr. If you want to wonder why that's weird, just wait for Hardenwood and you'll understand. But back to Joel Embiid. The first round in the play-in game, it could be Heat and the 76ers. And guess what? The winner would play the Milwaukee Bucks. Could you imagine if the 76ers play the Bucks and their old coach Doc Rivers in the first round of the playoffs? That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. That'd be fun.
And let's be real. Has this Bucks team gotten any better? Really? They've been hovering around a little better than 500 since they picked him up. It's not like they're doing better than they did with Adrian Griffin. Their defense is a little bit better. I'll give you that. I don't know. How awesome would that be if Rivers takes over the Bucks and then his former team puts him out in their first round? I don't know. I would just love that. We'll talk a little NBA on the other side. We're also going to give away some tickets. I got tickets. Not tickets. I keep saying tickets. I'm going to give you a code. And then you go online, bing, bang, boom, and you get your own Blu-ray DVD. From A24 and Lionsgate. It's the Iron Claw. It's an unbelievable true story of the Von Erich brothers who built a wrestling dynasty. It's got Zac Efron and Jeremy Allen White. We're going to give away that on the other side. Wing tickets for the World Wing Fest, the 22nd annual World Wing competition and festival. So we got a lot to do on the other side. Don't you dare touch the dial. I'll be back in 2 shakes. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
I'll see you on the dark side of the moon.
Looking for sports in all the wrong places? Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square. Fun, friendly, exciting, and comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs for all your favorite games, 24 taps for all your favorite beers, including NA and local craft beers, and an in-front-of-the-wall full bar for all your other favorite beverages, including a full wine list. Add in an upscale menu, patio seating, daily specials, and events, and you found all your sports in the one right place. The Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square, Highway 70.
Is your home screaming for an upgrade? Listen closely because Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing is about to make your day. First up, say goodbye to cold showers and hello to endless hot water with our tankless water heater upgrade. Not only does it save space and energy, but it also keeps the hot water flowing exactly when you need it. And here's the kicker. Switch from your old tank to a sleek, efficient tankless water heater now, and Choate's will hand you a $500 credit. Yep, you heard that right. $500 back in your pocket. But wait, there's more. Clogged drains are a hassle no homeowner wants to deal with. With Choate's special offer, get your drains cleared for just $93 or it's absolutely free. That's our guarantee to make it drain or you don't pay a dime. So why wait? Call Choate's today at 347-8086 or visit us online at choateshvac.com. And remember, Choate's, let our family serve your family.
Getaway Sports Bar, the best kept secret in town, open noon to 1:30 a.m. 7 days a week. Garvin, the owner, created this SEC NFL Dream Bar over 20 years ago. You'll never miss a minute of action. 10 TVs, 5 70-inch TVs for all the big games. Rack them up on 6 pool tables. Coldest beer in town, grab you a pool stick and get you some good bar grub. 100% Angus burgers, big and moist chicken tenders. Daily happy hour Monday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. with long neck domestics, $2.25. Getaway Sports Bar, 4632 Winchester.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry, and they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
Bartlett Small Engine has free pickup and delivery both at your home and curbside for lawnmowers, blowers, edgers, and any small engine. Call 901-386-9779.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Oh, yeah.
Now you want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy, Johnny Radio. Hanging out with my good friend, Zach Boyd. Happy Tuesday, everybody. We're all here. Just counting down the days. Actually, we're not counting down days. We're counting down hours because we got baseball at 3 o'clock to bet on. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right, John.
And by the way, did you know that we have the Final Four of the NIT?
John, yes, we do. Yes, we do.
We do. And
we can bet on it.
And Georgia has a chance to continue on. What are they playing, Seton Hall?
They are yes, they are playing Seton Hall.
And then you have Indiana State playing somebody else.
Utah.
The Utes. Mm-hmm. Are we liking Indiana State?
Yeah, but all of these games, John, have been home games for them. And
now they got to go out there and play.
Now it's going to be a neutral site. I just don't know. I mean, Utah's been playing Pac-12, even though the Pac-12 was trash this year. I don't know. I kind of like Indiana State.
Yeah, Pac-12 is not represented. Neither is the Big 12. Your number one conference in the whole wide world.
I'm sorry. What was that again?
The Big
John?
12 is not being represented in the Final Four.
Huh.
But that's also because Jamal Shedd hurt his damn ankle.
That's right.
That made me so upset.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
I felt so bad for him.
So ACC, best top 4 conference in basketball this year. How about that?
Because of the women?
No, NC State's in the Final
What's
Four.
one?
I mean,
NC State got there because Houston got hurt.
Well, but think about it. I mean, John, you're talking about an NC State team that was way down at the bottom, and they've beaten all these teams. That just shows how strong the conference is, making this run in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, it's true. Also, though, I still like NC State just because they beat Duke and made my Easter Sunday wonderful. Utah, State, Indiana, Georgia, Seton Hall. We'll give you some little bet action a little bit later. But, Zach Boyd's in the house. He's going to talk a little NBA action. I'm kind of curious, though. Welcome to the show, Zach. And did you watch the Grizzlies or did you watch the Women's Elite Eight?
The Women's Elite Eight.
What a game.
All right, got a question for you. Is this going to be a thing where people now start paying more attention to women's sports, or is this a phenomenon with Caitlin Clark?
I think you just had a lot of stars in the Elite Eight.
I mean, Juju.
You had Juju Watkins. You had Paige Beckers.
USC, Paige Beckers, USC. I mean, UConn. UConn took care of business again.
You could legit make a case that those Elite Eight games were it's probably going to be better than the championship game, maybe. If South Carolina doesn't get tumbled, get knocked out by NC State, you can make a case that particular round of the Elite Eight was like the best of the best.
Well, I mean, Iowa and LSU having the national championship replayed, and remember Angel Reese doing the ring finger with the no face, Caitlin Clark doing the face thing, like they went back and forth at each other last year. So to see that again, that made it also a lot of fun. And then Haley Von Lith made it a lot of fun for me because I loved her reaction. Did you see where she looked over at
It was like there's just nothing.
Like, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? This girl is killing me. Like somebody, maybe throw a double team, Kim. I can't contain this woman. That's what it looked like.
She did a good job in the first half, at least, the first quarter.
Man.
But, I mean, at some point, because I think she ended up having 19 of Iowa's 30-something points. I'm like, yeah, if this keeps going, she gonna hurt a lot of feelings. And sure enough. By the way, I'm against saying, pointing my finger at LSU, talking about, see, this is what you get for talking trash all year. I'm against that.
What are you talking about? I never said. Nobody said that.
It was like a big thing on social media last night.
Oh, it was? What are you talking about?
Like,
Nobody talks more trash.
They ran their mouth so much. This is what they deserve.
Hold on, time out. Nobody runs their mouth more than Caitlin Clark. I like her. I like Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark because they're fiery women who go out there and they actually compete. Like Chas even said, because she ain't sitting around watching women's basketball, but she was like, she literally said, "Are you sure are those dudes?" I was like, "No, baby, those are women."
Yeah.
She's like, "Man, I didn't know women could ball like that." I mean, Chas has got her little nails. She won't even touch a basketball.
She paid a lot of money for him. That's why.
Damn right.
She paid a lot. I wouldn't imagine if Chaz would pick up a basketball anytime.
I didn't know that was one of the storylines coming in. But I will say one thing. I mean, Kim Mulkey is fiery as hell. The team's going to take over her personality, and that's what one of the reasons that I kind of also like Kim. I'm not sitting there saying she's won national championships as a player. She's won at 2 different schools national championships. She's obviously a damn good basketball coach. She's wild as all get out. I love her outfits because they're crazy. She's flamboyant. I mean, it's at least something to talk about, and she's interesting. But, her clubs are going to take on her personality. And, look, all of her, her players got a little swag to them. They might talk a little bit of ish. But, again, that's sports.
Yeah, but tell that to every casual, maybe sports person that's out there.
I feel like this has a lot to do with somebody like people probably my age. Like when women's fighting started, I couldn't handle. I didn't want.
Oh, UFC?
I still can't really watch it because I still don't like watching women beat the tar out of each other. I just, for some reason, it's something in me. I don't like it. It makes me sick. But I can at least accept like, because at first I'd be like, look, what did I used to say? Don't fight, kiss. You know, like, remember those two girls that were making out in the ring that one time?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
No, I watched that fight. But
I bet you
replay.
did.
It was the replay.
It was.
But, like,
how many times you watched the replay, John?
I know.
A few times. But seeing the girls like last night and watching, because I got it after watching the first one, I got stuck in the UConn, the ball game, and watching just basically how like UConn just executes better than anybody else. Like they're
a machine.
They are a machine, and USC is a damn good team.
Yeah,
like, they are a damn good team.
Yo,
UConn handled them that whole second half.
Hey. Juju hit that one girl with that step back, and I was like, that is an NBA level type of move, and she did it very clean, and it was like, okay, like all right, like if we get a bunch of hoopers like Juju coming through college basketball, I think women's basketball might be in a better spot than a lot of people thought it would be.
I'm ready to play a game, y'all. I just thought of something that's great.
Oh no.
Hit me up at the 60s, a log cabin, a listener line, 901-360-8255. This year's state championship boys against this year's Final Four girls.
Terrible idea. What are we
Who wins? I just want to know your opinion. No, they don't even come close. Are you joking?
Yes, they do.
Are you serious? You think they could actually score on the? I bet you the boys would rout them. The high school boys championship team would beat the college girls champion by 40 points.
Like a state championship team?
Like just any high school state champion, like the Tennessee, the team that won the state championship in high school this year, would run them by 40 points. Don't start smoking crack and getting weird.
Oh, I'm getting weird.
Dude, you know how are you serious? The reason I brought this up because I also was saying that the only reason I brought that up was because Caitlin Clark got the $5 million offer for the Big Three.
That's right.
And one idiot came out and was saying, I don't know why she's going to the WNBA. She can play in the NBA. And I lost my mind.
No, she can't.
Getting buckets for the Cavs.
But I'm just telling you right now, and again, just for fun,
out there with Darius Garland.
And I actually had this conversation this weekend with a few people, and I was looking at a couple people who were like, they were crazy, and I'm like, yeah, y'all never played sports, you don't know jack. And everybody else who actually knew anything were like, nah, they'd get beat by 40, 50.
Now, I will say they did an experiment on this.
The best women's national team, the best women's team ever assembled, the World Cup. You know,
the soccer team.
The soccer team. They got beat by the 14 and under boys 7-1.
Yeah,
7-1.
Not
high
soccer.
school.
Different. Soccer.
Not high school. Oh, the best women's team in the world. Oh, you say that there's difference in basketball?
It was.
How many girls are out there going to be slammed in on their face and alley-ooping that giant?
That was Team USA,
That's right.
women versus the retired, I think, team like overseas or something like.
No, it was against the California boys 14 and under.
I just think that women's college basketball runs good stuff, and high school basketball players don't run jack.
It doesn't matter. I'm talking about
they don't know how to play
athletic
basketball.
ability. Oh, yeah, I'm sure they don't. Anyway,
No, I think
you think high school basketball players know what they're doing out there? They don't know how to play basketball at all. They don't know
You're
nothing
throwing
about
a complete
basketball.
cast on everything. A state championship team is going to
I'm throwing a cast, and you're comparing women's college basketball to high school basketball.
I'm just telling you.
We're all throwing casts out here.
No. Just show me where. Never mind. I'm not even have to get. We'll get off this one because again, if y'all really think that the South Carolina, the Iowa team, the NC State, whatever, do I think they run a lot of good stuff? Yes. But if you think they could beat a high school state championship boys team, you have literally fallen into some delusional world that is not reality.
So South Carolina versus IMG Academy.
Well, that's not. That's a different conversation.
That's
different conversation.
Who's this year's state championship team here in Tennessee?
I don't know.
That I don't know.
They would absolutely murder South Carolina.
That's fair.
Murder. You wouldn't even want to watch it. By the way, all the high school kids out there, give me a little what's up, man. Tell me the truth. By the way, hit me up at the Sissy's Log Cabin text and listener line. Life is too short for ordinary jewelry. 901-360-8255. While you're figuring that out, I'm also going to give this to the people. And you don't have to be a man to win. I'm here equal opportunity people all the time. And by the way, you know I like women better than I like men. Men are ugly, stupid, immature, and annoying. I'd never date a man. Now,
yeah, for your sake at least.
What does he look like?
Never.
So okay. So Douglas was good this year.
All right, Douglas.
Who's Douglas?
Douglas High School here in Memphis.
The Red
They
Devils.
had a good season. They lost in their championship game, but they had a good season. With that Douglas team, men's team.
I don't want to disrespect any Memphis, local high school teams.
No, I'm just saying, but in order to like play devil's advocate in this situation, that Douglas team versus Iowa versus South Carolina.
Who's Douglas? Is this like a D, like
No, this is the
class 1A,
class 2.
Class 2. So what are we doing? Private schools now? We're little.
John
rich kids
only
are
wants
playing?
like 6A.
No, I'm talking about athletes. I'm just talking about athletes, like the best high school state team. I'm not talking about a bunch of kids who are 5'6" and nerds, and their parents are rich, and they get to play basketball in their little private ass little school.
So basically, you're trying to accumulate all the talent from the state of Tennessee.
No, I said the best team from the state, the best boys team from the state,
right?
Against the national championship women's, it won't even be close. I mean, you don't think that there's going to be a bunch of those kids that are going to go to college?
I think so, but I
just think y'all are nuts.
In my mind, I personally feel
You've
like
been smoking Caitlin Clark. You've been smoking way too much Caitlin Clark.
No.
So Zach, does Joel Embiid come back tonight?
She's 6 feet, 150 pounds.
In my mind, I feel like the boys would win. But it's going to be a much closer than what it is, because at least the college
100-60.
At
I
least,
agree.
At least
40 points. They'll keep it within 40.
From a collegiate standpoint, they're a little bit more organized than it is in high school.
Oh, I'm hearing you.
They're a little bit more organized, so they can run sets. They can do like different exotic stuff that high school kids won't even pick up very easily. So I would say it will be close, but the athleticism.
I just want to know how they're going to get a shot off.
The athleticism and the physicality that's the only question that I have.
They're going to get packed, and they ain't going to be like sitting there being able to jack up threes. Going to D them up 90 feet. Caitlin Clark going to be able to pull up. She's going to get swatted.
Unless she a hooper.
And how are they going to get a rebound?
I mean, there's some chicks that can rebound, man.
Yeah,
shit, they can rebound. They can box out.
All right.
I'm not saying that it's just gonna be an overwhelming, like they're gonna defeat them. But it's gonna be, in my mind, I feel like it's gonna be much closer. Now, if you're talking about like accumulating like the best of the best, like an IMG, a Oak Hill, or a Mount Verde, and you tell them boys to play against a collegiate team, it's going to be a murder's row, because all of them are pros, and they just there strictly for basketball.
Mm-hmm. I'm not talking about like Ionesca and the damn WNBA either.
I'm sorry, fellas. I have breaking news. Not to get us off of this super serious argument we're having. Carl Sharonfont's entered the transfer portal.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Whippity-doo.
Okay.
Whippity-doo. Like, are you kidding me? That's breaking news. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Don't get me off of something I'm interested
Certainly
in.
more important than what we were talking about. I mean.
Yeah, I know, because he was such a big contributor last year, and, like, he's going to contribute on nobody.
Well.
Now, that portion of the show was brought to you by 901 Aesthetics, where beauty meets wellness. Now, that segment probably came from somebody that might have menopause. Do you have menopause? Well, you need hormone replacement. Elevate your performance with hormone replacement therapy. They have pellets. They're individually tailored for each client at 901 Aesthetics. Tackle fatigue, improve focus, and boost endurance with their special hormone therapy. Trust their experts and professionals. They will deliver convenient and effective treatment. And let me tell you something, fellas. If your wives are experiencing fatigue, mood swings, irritability because of your low performance, well, you know what to do. Send her also a little assistance. Go, hey, babe, you want to go check out 901 Aesthetics? You can go and book an appointment today. It's very simple. Book your appointment at 901aesthetics.com or call 901-221-1256. That's right, 901-221-1256. Book your appointment. Again, 901 Aesthetics, where beauty meets wellness. So not only can your girl get a facial and some Botox, some laser to get rid of this and that, you can go in there and take care of your business and get treated and pampered and also get your hormones right so you can perform in the bedroom and also not be such a male chauvinist pig like I was in that last segment. 901
this
Aesthetics.
segment.
Well, the one that I just finished.
Right.
Because now I'm moving on to the NBA. So, Grizzlies, what's up with that, dude? Why are they going out there and beating Detroit, bro?
I mean, Detroit is bad.
Yeah, they are terrible.
They're bad.
But Cade Cunningham was having good enough game that Tripp didn't have to go off for 40, did he? Doesn't he want somebody to help him next year?
Well, yeah, but the thing is that, the thing about the Grizz is that
I'm telling you, the Pistons were trying to lose that game in the fourth quarter.
It was questionable.
They were trying. They were literally, their coach was like, he just made a shot. Pull his ass out.
I think my favorite thing from that game last night is like the Pistons had like 3 guys that had been on 10-day contracts with the Grizzlies at some point. Iowama or whatever his name is. There was another guy that I saw. Maybe it was just 2, but there were at least 2 guys on the Pistons.
Not Diggy Jarreau, is he?
I'll look it up. But there was another guy that I was like, oh, that guy's been with the Grizzlies this year, and it was so funny because both these teams are just like kind of in the same spot right now.
And like the thing that kind of agitated me because I didn't really watch the game. Kind of looked at it out of my corner of my eye everywhere. Saw it halftime, and when I saw the halftime score, I was like, bro. They're going to get killed. What was it, 44-57?
Mm-hmm.
They were, I was
they were down like double digits at halftime.
Yeah. I was like, damn, good. I was kind of a little bit worried, man. Chris is like playing Detroit. I want him to get, man, I just want that pick, man.
I understand. But the thing is, like, if they're going to win, if the young guys want to win, like, let them win. Like, I'm not going to be upset about it.
I didn't say, I said, what was Tripp doing? Tripp knows he needs help next year. He's the one who went the freak off.
Well, his help is injured. Like, his point guard, his other defender, like his starting shooting guard, they all hurt.
Brandon Clark looked really good.
Yeah, like
I saw some highlights.
I am so happy that the front office allowed him to play the rest of the season. At least the last few games.
Give him a little bit of confidence going into next year, man.
Yeah. It kind of worked through the kinks of Achilles soreness throughout the offseason. Now, not to say that it's going to get ruptured again. Or we're knocking on wood. We're praying and everything. We're doing everything to make sure that doesn't happen again. But it's just the fact that he's now able to do basketball activity on the NBA floor, get some competition in, get the blood pumping a little bit. And then next year, it's off and running because he got the games in. He got to test out the ankle. He got to do all the cuts and the normal movement that he's used to doing. And all the explosion plays that he's used to doing. So I'm happy that he's out on the floor. I mean, he's still BC, so he's still out there producing, doing all the dirty things, which has been the biggest thing that's been missing. That has been missing this year with the Grizzlies is having a center that does a lot of the dirty things and had the athleticism as well. So, yeah, so you add him to the list. You figure out what you're going to do at center, whether you're going to draft one or you're going to trade for one, and then you just roll the ball back out there, do some more roster gymnastics, and you be straight.
Why did Duren only play 5 minutes? Did he get hurt or something?
He got injured, yeah.
What happened?
There was some sort of collision. I was listening to the game. I wasn't home yet, but there was some sort of collision, and he went back to the back. And I don't think didn't return after that.
Well, time to shut him down.
I feel bad for
Metu was
whoever
the other
hell
guy
he
that was
ran
a Grizzly
into.
for like 2 minutes. He got traded to the Grizzlies from the Suns, was a Grizzly for like 2 minutes, and then they waived him. So that was
Who
our
was
other
this?
Grizzly. Chimizi Metu.
Oh, Metu.
Mm-hmm.
Metu.
Yeah, he was like a Grizzly for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, no.
I think I waived.
Who's the other 10-day guy? Do you remember?
Iwoma. That was who I was thinking. But
Okay,
then,
so they didn't have another 10 guy?
It was just 2 guys that had been Grizzlies this year, and one never suited up for them.
By the way, Zach, I'm not going to be here tomorrow.
I've heard.
So you
He's
fill
filling
it
in for you. Well,
All
for
right, cool.
yeah,
I've heard.
we're filling in for you. We're
Yeah, thank y'all
tag
very
teaming
much
it.
for that. I appreciate it. So y'all have the horns.
The Pistons also just signed Jalen Noel.
Oh, great! So we're just the Grizzlies.
Right.
They're the Grizzlies of the North.
So on Friday when we see the Pistons,
Right.
there'll be another Grizzly.
So you're gonna have Ibanwama and Jalen Noel,
Noel and Metu, who was Grizzly for 2 minutes,
back in the forum
that's right.
again.
How about that?
That's are we gonna get a tribute video for Jalen Noel?
I think so. Why not?
I mean, he was hooping for us.
He was.
though.
He had a couple good games. Only 9 games overall, though.
All right. One other thing before I go. There's an eclipse happening next Monday.
Yeah.
Are we going to be able to see it?
Maybe.
We'll be able to see some of it, right?
No, I think we're going to be able to see a good amount of it as long as it's not cloudy.
That's a good point.
I know in like, what's that city kind of west or east of us? Some city
Dave's
east of
going
us.
to see it. He won't be here next week for it.
Oh, just giving out all his business.
I know, right?
But
Man, so what? He's not going to be here.
There's some city not far from us that it's going to be like 99% eclipse.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I can't think of
and
this
I
name.
can't.
Of the city.
Dyersburg.
And a
It's
bunch of people are
Dyersburg,
like,
and that's only like an hour away from us or 45 minutes away
What?
from us. Dyersburg? How far is Dyersburg?
I don't know.
It's like an hour.
It's
away.
not. It's not far.
My name ain't Google GPS.
Well, the way you
bruh.
said what is like you were like you don't know where Dyersburg is.
No.
But it's like supposed to be 99%. So I'm guessing we're gonna get a pretty good view of it.
Well, tomorrow I'll be gone. They're going to be filling in. We're going to take a quick time out. We got Hardenwood on the other side. Thanks, Zach, and appreciate you filling in for me.
Oh, no problem, man.
Bag and Two Shake. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
At Sunrise, both on Jefferson and Poplar, we understand that a lot of the early morning crowd is not early morning at all. We're talking about the heroes that work the overnight shift. These are people that keep the world turning while we sleep. That's why both Sunrise locations have a full bar. If you have a long day ahead of you, you probably want coffee. But if you've been working all night, you might just want a drink. Not only do both Sunrise locations have every cocktail you could want, they also both feature a Bloody Mary bar with a huge selection of fixins. If you just got off work at Sunrise, come have a drink at Sunrise.
This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf Realtors. I'm often called Shell Done because I sell homes and work with buyers and I get the job done. There are 7 keys to successfully selling your home quickly at a great price. First, call me. I do my research and advise you on preparation, presentation, and proper pricing that gets you the activity to get the best price. Follow my advice and it can happen. I did mention 7 keys to a successful sale, didn't I? Well, if you use the first key, calling or emailing me, you really don't need the next 6 keys. Remember, that's Sheldon Rosengarten at 483-0546 or MemphisRelocate.com. If you don't need me now, write it down for later or for a friend. That's Sheldon at 483-0546 at MemphisRelocate.com. Do it now, and who knows, you may hear your home advertised here. Remember, as bad a golfer as I am, when selling homes, Shell Done gets it done.
KFC's new Saucy Nuggets are here to show you what it really means to have the sauce. These juicy hand-breaded nuggets come drenched and dripping. Get the real sauce. Try KFC's new Saucy Nuggets, available in Nashville Hot, Georgia Gold, Honey Sriracha, Korean Barbecue, or Sticky Chicken. Dripping in flavor. 10 pieces for just $5.99. Only at KFC. It's finger-licking good. Prices and participation may vary. Tax, tip, and fees extra.
This is hard to believe, but the Hyundai Santa Fe is actually better. I know, that's crazy, isn't it? The 2024 Santa Fe is new, top to bottom, and even better than before. It's almost as big as the Palisade, so roomy, and now it's got a standard third row. Everybody's clamoring for that. And it's the best SUV when it comes to the ride than ever before. You know how with SUVs you love it because you're sitting high, but you don't get that luxury kind of ride like a sedan? You do with the 2024 Santa Fe. It's the best riding SUV ever, and it's quiet. It's the ultimate family car. All you've got to do to be sold is to test drive it. The people at Homer Skelton Hyundai are saying, Come try it. You'll love it. Homer Skelton Hyundai, right at the corner of Highway 78 and Craft Road. First exit in Mississippi. Go see the ultimate SUV, the 2024 Santa Fe.
For more than half a century, contractors and trade professionals have relied on WeatherGuard for heavy-duty truck and van storage equipment, not just to protect their valuable tools, but to protect their professional reputations. For pros, the WeatherGuard badge makes a statement about what drives them. It says, "Bring it on. Been there. Done that. We've got your back," without saying a word. And the folks at WeatherGuard, they're just as driven as the hardworking pros they serve. See what it means to be driven at WeatherGuard.com.
Hello, Memphians. Wake up each and every Tuesday morning weekly to Cup Club Early Morning Show. Cup Club Early Morning Show each and every Tuesday morning weekly, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. right here on AM 56. Hosted by former Arkansas State Red Wolves Hall of Fame fullback Ricky Jemison. Enjoy special guest interviews, top sports local, nationally, and Monsters Game Pro Football League updates. Cup Club Early Morning Show right here on AM 56.
All the wisdom of the universe is in these bones.
Now back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. Happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday. Man, we had some women's basketball last night. It's pretty good, man. Caitlin Clark tore it up.
Sure was.
Tonight we have NIT action. That's right, NIT. You have Utah and Indiana State, 6 o'clock. I'm leaning Indiana State, man. Like they're trying to prove, man, you left us out.
You're right about that.
You left us out. And I'm actually shocked Georgia's here. Are you shocked?
Kind of. I can't remember
they're
who all
playing
they
Seton
played.
Hall, but damn, man.
But yeah, no, I mean, I like this Georgia team this year. I've thought, they've shown some gusto throughout the season, but, beat Xavier, beat Wake Forest. That was a huge win for them. Beat Wake Forest 72-66. Wake Forest was one of the teams that just missed out on the NCAA tournament and then beat Ohio State. So, yeah, they've been playing really well lately.
Well, we're about to get to a little bit of Hardwood where it feels so good. We're going to give you our bets on the other side, but I got to tell you about the Iron Claw. I'm going to watch that bad boy, so I'm going to know a whole lot about it when I get back. But, man, Dacus, you've talked about the Iron Claw. Some friends, as you said, grown men were crying.
Yeah, I've had friends that have watched it and said it's one of the best movies they've seen. I've seen online that grown men were sitting in there watching it when it was in theaters and crying watching it. So I've heard nothing but praise for this movie.
Man, and by the way, this is from the studio that brought you Uncut Gems. And now they are bringing you the Iron Claw. It's the unbelievable true story of the Von Erich brothers who built a wrestling dynasty. And it's starring eye candy Zac Efron and Jeremy Allen White, who's won an Emmy. Now, you can get the bad boy from Blu-ray. You can get a Blu-ray or a DVD very simply. You can do it right this second. All you have to do is go to A24 in Lionsgate. You get a Blu-ray, DVD, bing, bang, boom. You got it for life. Or you can text me right now at 901-360-8255. That's 901-360-8255. Send me your say, I want the Iron Claw. First texter that says I want the Iron Claw and puts their email address in there, I'm going to email you the instructions. You go online. It's really simple. You put in this code, bing, bang, boom, and now you're going to have the Iron Claw and be able to watch that bad boy. It's going to be awesome. Again, this movie is on point. Check it out. And man, if it's making grown men cry, and it's a true story. I love movies that are based on true stories. Yeah. So I'll be checking this bad boy out tonight. I'll let you know what I think. Again, don't forget, hopefully that text has already come in, 901-360-8255, 901-360. We've got a winner. Winner, chicken dinner. Congratulations. Tyler, you're a champ. Now, Mr. Dacus, let's go to Hardwood. Woo! I caught you off.
No, you didn't.
Man, did you see the Florida Gators football parking lot today?
Oh, man, I did. I sure did.
Man, NIL's being really good to these athletes, isn't it?
It really is. Lucky guys.
Bro, Like, that is some ridiculousness. Like, damn, bro, that looks like you just like pulled up, like you're down in Miami, you know, on South Beach. You're walking out of the Fontainebleau, man, after getting a little massage, you know. Maybe you were up in the club, and you see all these crazy cars when you're down in Miami. You know what I'm saying? Crazy cars. Nope, this is the Florida Gators training facility. This is Hebner Football Training Facility. And there are nothing but vehicles that are bad to the bone. I mean, you got a bunch of the Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Rams, the Chargers. Man, you got some nice rides. I will say, NIL's doing pretty good. Shedeur Sanders, by the way, I don't know if you know this. Did you see what they said?
No, what'd they say?
Shedeur Sanders has 4 cars. His cheapest car is $100,000 actual souped up Charger. He's got 4 cars. These boys are driving in style, man. Damn. Like, are you worried that football, they're going to get a little soft? Or they got to know they got to go out there and compete if they want to keep this cash flowing in?
Hopefully they see it that way of, man, look at what my hard work has gotten me. I now have this great car and all this money and yada, yada, yada. And so maybe he'll, make them push harder. Certainly nice for like high schoolers that are coming out of high school and seeing the Florida parking lot. I mean, that is great.
I would be like, you're in high school. I'm going to be working my tail off.
It's great for them, but it's also great PR for Florida. I mean, you talk about teams trying to put out their NIL packages. People see that parking lot at Florida. If they're thinking about what school to go to and they know, hey, I can go get a Charger, I can go get a Hellcat, I can go get a Scat Pack, one of these souped up cars that I saw in that parking lot for Florida. Yeah, I want to go be a Gator.
Man, I feel you there. Do you know who Steve-O is?
I do.
So he was on the show Jackass.
He was.
And like he used to be really messed up. Like they had, all of them had a little bit of a drug problem, especially the Bam Margera guy. Poor guy's still working through it. Steve-O has now been, did you know he's been sober for 16 years?
Good for him.
Congratulations. That is awesome. I did find it weird though. Like Steve-O was going to do an episode with Bill Maher. It's like, what's his podcast called? The Wild Ride or something?
No, I forget what it's called.
Jackass? No, that's the.
No.
I'm just kidding. I can't remember.
Real Time, right?
No, that's the TV show. I'm talking about. So he has a podcast where he smokes pot during
Club
the whole time.
Random.
Club Random, something like that.
No,
he smokes weed the
not
whole
something
time.
like that. That's the name of the podcast.
Oh, that's it. Okay,
Yeah.
You found it. Good job. Club Random is his podcast, and he smokes pot the whole time because Bill Maher is a huge pothead. Steve-O said that he would do it as long as Bill Maher didn't smoke pot around him. Bill Maher came back and said, look, I'm glad you're clean and sober, 16 years. That's awesome. He says, but I'm not asking you to smoke with me. I'm not offering you a drink. He's like, it's a joint. I really can't smoke a joint around you. And Steve-O's like, no, I can't handle it. I just can't handle like pot being smoking around. I don't want to be around it. And so Bill Maher said, well, if you can't be around pot, you can't be on my podcast. Like, I almost feel like Steve-O, I don't know, which side of this are you on?
I was just about to ask what side you're on because I'm kind of in the middle on this. Like,
I'm kind of in the middle too. Like, number one, I have such respect for him for being sober for 16 years. That is amazing. There's like, we don't even talk about the opioid crisis and fentanyl, but I mean, alcohol kills 180,000 people, I think, a year to alcohol-related deaths. We don't really talk about alcohol and how, it can have, there's some serious consequences with those who become addicted to alcohol. Same as opioids or same with meth, crack, whatever. So it's not good. But like smoking pot, I just never think of, and maybe that's because I smoke pot. Like, yeah, it's not like, I feel like if you're smoking pot, you're sober. Is that correct? Is that weird?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I don't know. Like, I've never had to go through an addiction where I have to, be sober and go through that. So I don't know how that is. But I do think
I know
part
that
of
they have to struggle every day.
Sure.
They like go to classes, and they're all once you're an addict, you're always an addict, and you're continuing.
Sure.
But what I mean is like, but I just never thought of marijuana as being like a trigger that all of a sudden, because I smoked this joint, I'm gonna go out there and
gateway drug, John.
Do something and start. No, never mind.
But I do think that part of sobriety is, especially if you're that type of person that has been around, that you're probably gonna have friends and other people like that.
Does that mean Steve-O now can't go into a restaurant that serves alcohol?
That's a good point, because I don't know. That seems to be something you need to work through. Sobriety.
I feel like you still have to be in social settings.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, maybe sitting on a podcast and a dude smoking a joint while he's talking to you is not necessarily a social setting, but it is Bill Maher's place, and it is his podcast, and it's done at his crib.
Sure. I'm kind of in the middle. I see both sides. I also can see the bad in both sides,
I feel like they're kind of making Bill Maher out to look like an ass because, Bill Maher might be an ass, but
I think he
is he?
I think so.
I don't know much about it.
I don't either, but things I have heard, I've heard he's.
I watched his show like when I was like 20 years old. He's been on forever.
He has.
Like, when you're in college and you're doing all your crazy weirdo things, thinking you know something. Boy, those college kids are going to have a rude awakening when they're about 35 years old. Now, did you hear about P. Diddy?
What about him?
Well, he's bringing everybody down, and now he's gotten Ashton Kutcher.
You're kidding.
Looks like Ashton Kutcher is in a little bit of trouble, you know what I'm saying? So did you know that they've been boys for a long, long time, since the early 2000s? Like 2003, they were introduced because, remember Ashton Kutcher, who made fame on that sitcom, that 70s show? He started that show Punk'd on MTV.
Yeah.
P. Diddy also had a show on MTV. And damn it, I can't remember the name of the show off the hand. I know I read it this morning, but he did a show, and then they became like real good friends, and then started working on things together, and then
Making
they started
the
band. That's right. So that was his show. They became good friends. They hang out all the time, and then there's all these videos of Ashton Kutcher talking about the freak out parties at P. Diddy's house. And then there's a bunch of interviews where people ask him about, like, oh, man, and he's talking about how P. Diddy's the greatest thing in the world. He's my best friend. He even in one article sat up there with P. Diddy and did the most BS Hollywood thing. Like, the one thing, people were like, why is this farm kid friends with this New York hip-hop mogul? And they only asked that because he's black and I'm white. Oh, I don't know why they have to see that. Oh, shut up, Ashton. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But no, now, like, there are tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of communication with Ashton Kutcher. And now Cuba Gooding Jr. has also been listed in a lawsuit because he was groping and fondling P. Diddy's producer.
Oh.
And P. Diddy producer accuses, basically, P. Diddy of bringing Cuba Gooding Jr. down to basically try to, anyway, point is, this whole P. Diddy thing is gonna get buck wild, I think. And I'm just kind of curious. Do you think Ashton now regrets leaving Demi Moore?
Maybe.
She might have been older. Right now, you might be free, because I think you might be in a little bit of trouble. Remember that 170s show kid's already in jail for 30 years, Danny Masterson.
That's right.
Damn it, you know what? That 70s show, they all smoked pot.
They did.
Maybe it's the pot.
Maybe.
Oh, my goodness. I got to stop smoking that stuff. That stuff is crazy. Do me a favor. Don't you dare touch the dial. We're back in 2 shakes. We got our bets on the other side. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Are you aware? It's patio season. Family Leisure sure is. That's why they have factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and even, yes, patio furniture. Yes, sir, it's indeed patio season. So come by Family Leisure and check out all the brand new 2024 patio furniture sets. And with patio season here, you know that pool season will be here before you even know it. So buy now to get in line for your pool installation and get preseason on pricing. Plus, you could save $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, even up to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas. Family Leisure has got special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and even outdoor kitchens. I love it when it's patio season because of all the fantastic deals that Family Leisure makes available just for you. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Are you someone who tries to drive while distracted by your phone? Someone who props it on the steering wheel or peeks down at it for a glance? Or just scrolls and scrolls? If so, you could be the next person to get into a fender bender, get a ticket, veer off the road, or even cause a crash that kills you or someone else. Enough already. Put the phone away or pay. Paid for by NHTSA.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
The only power source capable of generating 1.21 gigawatts of electricity is a bolt of lightning.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. Man, it's Tuesday. It's a little wet outside, but man, don't freak out. Don't fret. Man, you're thinking to yourself, I'm a little bit hungry. What am I going to do for some food? Man, I got you covered. Any chance you're out in the Carterville area? That's right. You can head over to Dyer's Cafe over in historic Town Square, 101 North Center Street. You can get one of their famous burgers, their split dog, their chili cheese dog. They got unbelievable onion rings, fries, club sandwiches, catfish, Pasquale's, tamales. They're so amazing. Those tamales are off the chain. Oh, my God, they're off the chain. They also, man, it's kind of warming up, man. You got a hot day. You want a nice, good old milkshake. They do the old school, man, where you got the shaker tin and then you got the pretty glass and you pour it in, the leftover. Oh, Dyer's Cafe, 101 North Center Street. You can also have them cater an event or cater for your crib. You go to dyerscafe.com. You can check out all the good things they got going on over there, and you can place an order by calling 901-850-7750, 901-850-7750. Check out Dyer's, man. It ain't just in downtown no more. Now, we got a couple bets tonight. We got some basketball. We got some baseball. We got a few games out there. But before I get to our bets, did you see that Knox, if you don't know who Knox is, Lane Kiffin's son, Knox Kiffin. The reason he's named Knox, by the way, do you know?
Because he had him when he was in Knoxville.
Oh, that's right. If you've forgotten, yes, he was a coach at Tennessee for that year. It was amazing. But Knox is an 8th grader, and you won't believe this. He's already received, he's a quarterback, by the way. He's received his first college scholarship offer already. The class of 2028 received a scholarship opportunity from Mississippi. Not Ole Miss, where his dad coaches, but Mississippi College, the Division II Choctaws.
There you go.
They went out there and threw out their first offer to the signal caller. They got the ball rolling, I guess, to see how the interest is. And I will say one thing. This has got to be just to get A little publicity, right?
Gotta be. I mean, I saw something else, and I wish I could find it.
There's a lot
now.
of people out there who have no idea what Mississippi College is. It's a school down outside of Jackson, Mississippi, in a small area called Clinton. It was a former women's college, by the way. Play football, baseball, basketball, all that. I went there for a year. It was a rough year. Tried my hand at this thing called college football. Definitely wasn't made for that. And then came back to Memphis. But I did. That's where I met Carrie, my first wife. I've only had one so far. And that's Rio's baby mama. So I guess it was a good year. You know, I'm quick, man. You send me to a place 1 year, I come back with a kid and a damn wife, man. But yeah, that I thought that was pretty wild. When I saw it, at first I thought, damn, man, like Lane's offered his kid a scholarship in the 8th grade. I was like, that's crazy. And then I saw it was Mississippi College, and I was like, oh, damn, a little nostalgia. Now, we do have some NBA basketball. Like, are you betting on any NBA action at all? Like, the end of the season, it's kind of tough.
Yeah, I probably won't bet on any NBA tonight.
But you are all up in that NIT action, aren't you?
I would like to.
Well, we have to take Indiana State.
I think so. 3.5. I like Indiana State here. Why not?
Man, Indiana State has been rolling. This is the one team that, like, I don't think with 68 teams you actually get anybody who's technically left out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, it's kind of splitting hairs. There were a couple teams that I kind of like looked at myself and said, I can't believe they're in. But Indiana State dropped SMU like a bad habit. They scored 101 points on SMU.
Mm-hmm.
They beat up on Cincinnati, who I've watched Cincinnati play a bunch because I was all up in the Big 12. They play mean physical defense, but still was able to score 85 points on Cincinnati, who's extremely physical. And I don't think I've watched Minnesota play basketball all year. They beat them handily by 12 points. So I have no idea what to even think. But, dude, this Utah State team, I'm not a truster in the Pac-12. And you know Indiana State, you know who's their famous alum, don't you?
Larry Bird, LB.
That's right. You know who played in the Final Four? Was it 78?
Larry Bird, LB.
Was that the Michigan State, Indiana State game with Bird and Magic?
Yeah, maybe.
But anyway, they beat VCU, Iowa. Those aren't. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like they've gone through the gauntlet necessarily. Like I feel like Indiana State is. I think this is an easy bet.
But I do want to caution people. If they're trailing early, do not fear, do not fret. They were down by 4 against Cincinnati at halftime. They were down by 9 at half against SMU.
And they won by...
beat SMU by 9.
Yeah.
Ended up beating Cincinnati by 4. Both would cover the spread. They beat Minnesota by 12. So they did lead Minnesota by 10 at half. But I'm just saying, this team has way better second halves than they do first halves.
I'll tell you one thing. This is always good. And that's Tito's handmade vodka. It's good in the first half. It's good at halftime. It's good in the second half. And it's good every afternoon. You go home from a long day's work. Just get the best spirit around. Get you just a little taste of some Tito's. When life hands you lemons, you don't freak out. You don't fret. You don't stress. You just make a lemon drop. Make sure it's with the best. That's Tito's handmade vodka. 100% gluten-free. Crafted and distilled in the United States down in Austin, Texas. 6 times distilled and stilled in classic copper pots. That's why it's got a unique flavor, slightly sweet with that black pepper note. Get your Tito's on today. For Brian Davis, I'm John Harden. I hope y'all get out there and make the world a better place. We're going to see you on the flip side. Peace.
If you've tried to buy a Rolex watch lately, you know how difficult it is. New models are in rare supply. Some jewelers put you on wait lists. Others make you